I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Vita and Chip.
The Remedy.
Yep.
PUSCIFER, whatever. This is,
We don't
MJK's
know.
in this.
Inform us. Actually, us.
MJK's in this band too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
So, shout out to the big homie Eric Hall. Good brother.
What's happening?
Yeah. MJK's in this band. So he's in Perfect Circle, Tool, and this band. So
And-
this is the band we've never heard of before.
I was going to say, and he's in some country thing, but that's Nurgle.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Ready?
Remedy, go.
Go.
Reese's stitches, trolls receive 86s. Stick around if your house broken. Can't hold your shit or your tongue, you gotta go. Should you choose to react like an impulsive, you in turn will be treated so. Yes, we're being condescending. Yes, that means we're talking down to you. With all that racket from your lips are flapping, we assumed you didn't notice. Haters, isolators, no one misses these. Bitches, Reese's stitches, trolls receive 86s. Yes, we're being condescending. Yes, that means we're talking down to you. With all that racket from your lips are flapping,
some like end top.
Oh, I thought he wasn't a dark person at all. I thought he had no darkness.
I didn't say he had no darkness in him. This was. So is this like parents? Because that who's saying
No, I.
The first line made me think of parents because it said, "Our home, our rules, respect them, or bitches leave stitches."
2015. That's pretty recent.
Yeah, that is.
I don't know. Well, I mean, considering our current political climate, it looks like it's talking about what's going on with us right now.
What does trolls receive 86s mean?
Well, when I was coming up, it was snitches receive stitches. Mm-hmm. Snitches get stitches and bitches end up in ditches.
Oh,
So it wasn't.
how nice.
Well, yeah. I mean, just don't be a snitch.
Or a bitch.
Yeah. But
Better off to be a snitch than a bitch. At least a snitch just has some stitches, a bitch
well,
is in a
it's
ditch.
Hebrew parallelism. It's a snitch and a bitch are the same thing.
Oh.
Because we're the original man, so we're the true Hebrews. Anyway, our home, our rules, respect them. See, like, if you look at, like, this is the right-wingers, right? Mm-hmm. This is America, speak English, ah! But then if you go down, haters, isolators, no one misses these. That's a left wing. Mm-hmm. Because if you say shit like this, then the leftists are immediately going to say, ah. Mm-hmm. So it's just like this, it looks to me like this extremist, like, left wing, right wing, very simple, unnuanced way of looking at the world.
Yeah.
If people want to come to your country, they gotta speak English like immediately, and they gotta have a gallon hat and all this shit. And then the other people are like, stick around if your house broken, can't hold your shit or your tongue, you gotta go. Should you react like an imbecile? Like that's kind of like how right wingers are. If you're gonna come to our country,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. The condescending part was funny, right?
Yeah, that means we're talking down to.
We didn't think you would notice because of all that flapping of your. Basically, you're talking so fucking much. I didn't think that you could even tell that I was being condescending.
It's
And
interesting.
it's interesting because like a lot of right and left wingers will never hear this song because they are too busy talking. What were you gonna say?
Well, that's kind of like what we do with the show, right? Like when the call-in show where it's long form and people really get to get on and people get to say what they want to say. That's why these things go on for 2 hours because you got
8 hours
multiple
sometimes.
multiple people talking, and I really want to hear what these people have to say. And you know,
you mean you don't handpick them so you can win the conversation?
I don't. Well, I had this guy who was talking all this shit. The dude that we were talking to, and I said, "All right, get on. I'll talk to you right now." And then he deleted the entire. He deleted.
Are you serious?
Dead ass serious. The thread is nowhere to be found. So there you go. Like these people are amazing.
That stinks because I actually want to hear how that conversation was gonna go.
Yeah, so did I. But he's butter soft. But But anyway, but I don't know. But it's crazy, like, you speak as someone who's never been smacked in the fucking mouth.
Well, yeah, I think that sometimes as far as, the way that people, like I told you, those people were, like, talking about all those kids that had been taken away from their parents when they crossed the border, like, and I don't know what he means by, like, I took that, getting smacked in the mouth as, shit's never happened to you. You've never been in a situation. You've not been in another country where your life was so bad that you had to take the chance of trying to come here to get the help, even though you knew it was possible you were going to get separated, at least for a time, from your children, and you might get sent right back. But stuff is so bad that you have to take that chance. But then you get people who have never, like, I'm not saying they've never had a hard day in their life, because hard day is relative, you know what I mean? But as far as, like, actual, real...
Well, I ask people that have all these opinions about stuff. I always say things like, "Have you ever been outside of America?" Mm-hmm. If people have never been, like, I've lived in a homeless shelter in America.
Right.
It's a palace compared to the way a lot of people on the planet live.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're right, all that stuff is relative, but at the same time, it's like there are people that are genuinely suffering in ways that we have no idea about.
Yeah. And then to speak like so definitively on a topic that you don't like, you've never been in that person's shoes. Like, have you talked to people that have migrated to this country from where they came from, and you know the transitions that they have to take and the things that have taken place and the hard things and decisions that they've had to make? A lot of times the people that I was talking to, they're here, but the majority of their family is there. And like Americans seem like we'll like have our family and then we'll like move over there, or we'll, you know, like they're not like, hey, let's all live in the same cluster and kind of stick around each other.
Right.
Where some other cultures are very much like that. For them, going way away from your family is not only difficult because the cultural change, but also like that close-knit family that you were used to having around you is not there, but you had to make that choice.
Some of it's universal. Like we had a Somali. We've got a Somali population here, and
That's what I'm talking about when I say I talk to people.
and on top of that, it was dudes, you know, telling me about being recruited into the militia and being handed an AK-47, and the guy saying, the next person that comes around the corner, kill him, or we'll kill you.
Oh my god.
And so, you know,
Yeah.
that's the shit these people are running away from.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, but then this sort of dehumanizing way of saying if you can, you know, if your house broken.
I know.
You know, but it's true that's the way that a lot of, and then calling them the illegals and things like that instead of human beings.
Yep.
Conversely, though, on the left side of things, I've got family in law enforcement that, and he said to me, because I called him up and I said, what do you think about this ICE thing and blah, 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 the border? He goes, how do you know that girl isn't being trafficked and that guy isn't her pimp?
Right.
How do you know that?
Right.
You don't know that.
Right.
He said, bro, half these people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. There's shit going on, you have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah.
there are ramifications on both sides, because you want to, there are demons on both sides.
Yeah.
There are people that are like, that's right, get them away from their parent, fuck them. But there are also people that are like, wait a second here, we have no way of verifying these people, we have no way of verifying these relationships, we know there's a cartel, there are multiple cartels in Mexico that traffic in drug trafficking, using kids as mules, and also do sex trafficking using kids as paychecks. We know that, definitively.
Right.
So these things are not as simple as people were trying to make them, you know. And what is interesting, we're watching a debate between, what's his face? What's his name? Look, this is perfect. I should read this. So he's talking all this shit, right? He was like, oh, talk to me, blah, 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 I'm gonna set you straight, yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, all right, cool, we'll have a one-on-one, right? So I said, I'll see you in 20. He goes, I'm bowing out, fucker.
And I told you why.
I told you why. Don't you read my messages? This is our current political climate. We got people who would absolutely be willing to talk and be reasonable, and then you got all these people with all the verbosity in the world. But when it's actually time to actually have a reasonable conversation, it's this shit.
Yep.
It's unbelievable to me.
Ybut
this is the climate that we're in, but see,
it
this
shows what type of person that you are. You know what I mean? Like.
Well, yeah, because the original thing started with the border issue.
Yeah.
I posted something about the border issue, and people, went ballistic.
And it's not like you're saying, hey, meet me outside so we can have a one-on-one, it's a discussion. And so if you have something to say and the person's willing to talk to you, have the conversation. Like, remember when that whole thing went down with the underground metal elitist? And you reached out to him for a conversation, and he came to the conversation. And then stuff got figured out.
Yeah, people talk all that, they talk shit about him, but it's like, at least he had the cojones to
Yeah, exactly.
He was talking reckless, and he admitted he was talking reckless, and then we moved on.
Right.
But then you have other people who, and I consider the guy a friend, but you get other people who, they have all these opinions, and they're just talking off, and they have no clue what they're talking about. Like, for example, I posted something about the fucking biblical perspective on immigration and people seeking asylum. I didn't even make any. I didn't make any specific judgments about Honduras. All I posted was a priest who had said, "This is what the Bible says about what we need." It was a 2-minute clip.
Yep.
And it's like all these, why don't you have them in your house and blah, 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 blah. It's like, this is just a biblical perspective. Because what was happening was you had people coming in and trying to invoke the Bible to reject asylum seekers, and you cannot do that from a biblical perspective. So the guy was just going at it for 2 minutes, and all he said was, you know, if you want to appeal to obey the laws of the land, blah, blah, blah. He's like, evangelicals know that some laws are bad, like abortion. You don't say, oh, abortion's a law of the land, so we should continue with it.
Right.
So that's all he was doing. And then this this beautiful image bearer of God, he goes off on all these giant tangents, and I'm like, okay, let's have a. He's like, yeah, I bet you won't talk to me. So I'm finally like, all right, let's have a conversation. And then it's that, you know, it's like, okay, like, but this is what leads to shit like this.
Well, it's not too late, sir. You can still send a message and meet up.
Well, yeah.
He sees this and maybe he can reconsider. Who knows?
Yeah.
I doubt it, but if he does,
but then it devolves.
We'll announce his name next show if he doesn't. I'm just kidding.
Well, he deleted the entire thread
I know.
too, so that he could, you know, shame.
I was gonna say,
but you know what happens is it devolves into stuff like this, where people start using violent rhetoric. See, and that's the thing. Like, it starts with this, these disagreements, these unnuanced ways. We're not talking to each other. We're condescending to each other, and then it devolves into people like threatening violence. Now we just had 11 Jews get shot up and killed today. And the last thing the guy said was something about the caravan and terrorists and how the Jews are financing it. So he's like, I don't care about the optics. I'm going in. And then he goes in there and he blows away 11 people. So it's like, you know, and we had this conversation, you know, about being responsible with what we put out in the ether. You got to be responsible. You can't, you know, we're in a completely different context where the technology is such that if you're not careful about what you say, millions of people, regular, normal people, millions of people can hear that shit.
Yep.
And, you know, it's like, you know, so I was going at it about, I don't know what the guy's name is, some right-wing guy, and he posted an Instagram picture of this dude assassinating somebody else. And I'm like, you think that's something smart and wise to do in our current political climate? No. I said that shit 2 weeks ago, and now here we are killing people.
Wow. And
setting bombs and all. Like we gotta, it's right wing and it's left wing. Antifa does the same shit. They're violent. We've talked about it a million times. There's literally hours of me going after both groups.
Yep.
So it'll be on the other channel if you want to see it. But like, this is like some real shit here. Like it's this, it's kind of like, it's this very extreme, like, if you hold your left winger or right winger and it devolves into violence and you go after the other people, don't listen to them, don't give them a chance to speak and all the rest of it. I don't know. It's a very, very interesting song. What do you give it?
I really liked the sound of it at first. I loved that girl's voice in there. It was very pretty. But then it was very repetitive. Then it just got old for me because there was too much of the same thing. What?
People get mad at me because sometimes something will be repetitive and I'll love it, and other times I'm like, nah, that's too repetitive. And I'll see comments that are like, Vin, like, you're completely inconsistent on it.
Yeah, it's how you feel for the song.
Well, it just depends. If I really love the melody, if I love the melody, then I want it to be repetitive. If I don't love the melody, forget it.
Well, I liked this one. It just seemed a little, but I don't know if maybe that's what they were trying to communicate, is it's the same thing over and over, you know, like, this is what we keep doing generation after generation, you know what I'm saying? Like, so maybe they were trying to
I like the song.
Communicate that.
I like the melody.
I'm going with an 8.
I like the melody. It's a 9. I think it's very relevant for our current context. He's just, I'm very amazed that he writes lyrics like this sometimes. He's such a serious musician, and then he writes stuff like this. It's very interesting. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Yes, that means we're talking down to you with all that answer.